Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a comic that I just finished, All-Star Superman. Let's get right into it. So I first heard about All-Star Superman through the author, Grant Morrison. I was looking for a comic that I could read. I'm not a big comic guy, but I'm trying to, diversify my knowledge on that. I knew Grant Morrison was one of the most respected comic creators out there, and I wanted to read something with one of the original kind of legendary heroes, so I thought I'd give All-Star Superman a try. I already knew this was one of the most well-respected comics out there, so I knew I was going to get at least something decent. But after finishing it, I can safely say that it's above decent. It's great. All-Star Superman, out of the few comics I have read, is definitely up there. If it's not the best, it's definitely top 5. It does a great job in showing what would happen if Superman had a certain amount of time to live. That's not a spoiler. I mean, everyone kind of knows that's the kind of premise of the story. And it shows how he would try his best with the limited time he has to make the world a better place while dealing with the relationships in his life. So I really liked the relationship he had with Lois Lane. It was cool to finally see him admit to her that, look, Superman and Clark Kent are the same person, and her coming to deal with that fact. There's a very cool plot element involving both of them where they kind of become equals for a little bit. And it's really interesting to see how she can finally relate to Superman through that limited amount of time. I also really liked the relationship between him and this scientist. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he is a character made, I believe, for this story, but it shows how there are people out there who are willing to try their best to save Superman because they realize how important he is to humanity, which I thought was pretty cool. I also like the relationship he had with Lex Luthor. There's a line I really particularly liked where it shows that Superman, even through all their battles that they've had, knows that Lex has good within him and has been trying his best to bring that out of Lex, but Lex is so lost down the rabbit hole of hating Superman that he refuses to change his ways. I also really liked how the art was done. I know that a big part of the comic book isn't just the writing, but it's also what you're visually seeing, because if it wasn't, you'd just read a book, right? Comic books, especially this one in particular, have kind of gone more, they've upscaled in the quality of their art, and this one's no exception. I really like the colors. I really like the designs of the characters. The details made the characters feel real, and I think it was just overall great combination of story and writing. Things I didn't like, there are a couple stories in there, especially one involving 2 other Kryptonians that I wasn't a big fan of. You know, it felt tacked on. It felt like something that didn't necessarily need to be there. I understand that he needs a relationship to Kryptonian as one of the central parts of who he is as a character, and this story is kind of encompassing all parts of his character. I just think that could have been executed better, in my opinion. Maybe through characters that weren't so one-dimensional, through characters that maybe had more to do with Superman, they didn't just show up, something like that. One more thing I also really wanted to mention is the relationship he has with his adopted parents, I guess. There's a very good portion of this where he goes back to the farm and he talks to them, and you can really see how, even though they're not Kryptonians, his parents have really impacted his life in a positive way, and are probably the reason he helps humanity instead of hates them, because the first humans he really encountered were great people. So overall, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this great comic I read. I highly recommend anyone pick it up, even if you're not into comics. If you just have a general idea of who Superman is, you can get into this. I understand that it's not mainline story, so you know, maybe some true comic book fans would be upset if you read this like as your first Superman comic, but in my opinion, this does a great job in really summarizing who Superman is as a character while being upbeat and a positive message. You know, in a time where a lot of comics are becoming more sad, this, even though it's not new, it's relatively new, it had a very positive outlook, even though it ends with, you know, Superman passing away. So thank you guys for watching. This one is going to be probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. It's really good. Feel free to leave any comments if you've read this down below, or if you have any opinions on how you can make this video better. Please feel free to leave any sort of comments like that, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Talk to you soon. Thank you.